Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of Bardic Quest Presents Tyranny of Dragons, Defiance in Phlan. In this episode, a troublesome cry disturbs the party's morning meal as a distraught woman seeks urgent aid. So, without further ado, let's get into this next episode of Defiance in Phlan, The Screams at Dawn. Now, the morning after your little incursion to the barn where you recovered what you discovered to be a fake dragon's egg for the member of the Harpers. It's the next morning, as I say, and you've had a rather peaceful night's rest at the tea kettle, Madame Fiona's tea kettle, which is a lovely, pleasant location that's keeping you out of the hustle and bustle of Phlan, but also has proven to be a great little location, as its reputation suggests, to find work as an adventurer. And you are sat currently just enjoying a nice drink and preparing for your breakfast meal that is soon to be delivered to you. Is there anything anybody would like to say or do to begin with?
I think Fellin's just gingerly. He's slept, so he's healed, but he's got a nice little shiner coming up from where he got smacked around the face by the orc. Oh, it was an orc, half orc the other day, and he's just a bit sort of quiet this morning.
Fluff is up on the high shelf, I think we said. So kind of like ruffles their feathers, maybe sort of like rotates their head 180 degrees and like picks out, has a couple of broken feathers from just during the fight, preens those out. Does a big kind of owly yawn, kind of looking around, does the kind of like owly sort of head tilt, sort of side to side thing, and looks at Fellin and says, "Your eye's blue and purple."
Oh yes, it's okay. It don't hurt much. Oh, he's had worse.
And Fellin kind of flutters down and sort of rests on the back of a chair, let's say, or on the bedpost, and just kind of like looks and says, "I could probably mix something up for that to sort of bring down the swelling a bit, if you'd like."
Oh, thank you. That would be most kind of you. I wonder what's for breakfast. Do you think it's Bickies?
I really hope it is Bickies. Have you had Bickies?
Well, we can ask if we can get something a bit heartier.
Heartier?
More filling.
What would... Gosh, this is all very new to me. Should we go find out?
Sure. What did you used to eat?
Me? Oh, well, a mixture of things. My family live in the woods, so we all sort of have a mixture of things like nuts and berries. I largely porridge, if there, or whatever I could catch. Really, a hare, but just hares, just land-based animals. Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. We head downstairs. See if what was her name? Can't remember her name.
Madame Fiona?
Fiona, yes, Madame Fiona.
Yeah, she's definitely present, kind of just wiping down tables as you make your way downstairs. And she says, "Oh, good morning. I trust you had a pleasant sleep."
Really nice, thank you. Do you do any breakfast?
We do, actually. Yes, my daughters have just gone out yesterday and picked some nice berries, so we can do some berries on some warm biscuits, if you like.
Breakfast biscuits.
Breakfast biscuits.
Yeah. Yes, please.
Righto. And she kind of calls out, "Briez! They want some bickies!" They'll be with you soon. Take a
Thank
seat.
you.
Do you want any tea?
Yes, herbal tea.
Herbal, please.
Anything but the bog.
Right. No bog tea. Right. Okay. Well, take a seat, and we'll be with you soon.
As they sit down, Taileth's gonna sort of look vaguely up and go, Any input or what I should do would be much appreciated right now.
Would you like to give me I suppose the most appropriate is a perception check.
Sure. That is 14.
Okay. You essentially get a sense that you should probably just sit and wait.
Boring.
Is you all right? You look frustrated.
It's just, my invisible friend.
Oh,
Is she here?
Kind of. They're just being really quiet.
Quiet isn't always bad.
Fluff.
Maybe they're thinking.
Fluff hops down off his chair and goes and gets another chair and pushes it up to the table, and then hops back onto his chair and says, "In case they want to sit down."
That's sweet, thank you.
At this point, one of Madame Daughters comes over, and she brings over a plate for each of you, which includes freshly made wild berry jam on these warm biscuits that Madame Fiona had mentioned to you. And she says, "My sisters and I picked the berries ourselves," as she kind of sweeps her long black hair out from her face. And she says, "Some say that the wild berries in this area are..." And then as soon as she starts uttering that sentence, you can hear shrieking just erupt from the street outside of the tea kettle. Can I get a perception check from each of you, please?
Ooh. There's a flat 17.
Nice.
21.
Very nice. So you can all hear most of the words kind of unintelligible at the moment, but you do make out the word help and family.
Fluff immediately gets the jam, goes plonk, plonk, plonk on 3 biscuits, grabs 2 handfuls, stuffs them in the mouths of his compatriots.
We're on.
Stuffs one in his elbow. Flies towards the door.
Nice.
Fellin grabs his poleaxe from next to the table and just kind of charging towards the door.
Nice. Okay.
Taileth runs as well, and she goes, "If this is you, I'm going to be so annoyed at you."
All right. So you run out of the door onto the street, and what you see there is loads of townsfolk just rushing towards a sort of middle-aged human woman who is collapsed in the middle of the road, just crying hysterically. She's kind of clutching an infant boy in her arms, just screaming, again, help, somebody's got to help my family, all of that sort of stuff's just kind of blurting out. She is inconsolable, it seems, at this point.
I charge over, clear through the crowd and sort of holding out my poleaxe, not pointy end, but just splutter out the biscuits. Book away! Give us some space!
Some of the townsfolk start to, as you had quite rightly insisted, begin to sort of step away.
Hiya. What happened?
She says, my husband, my children, They've been taken.
What took them? Who?
She says they were working at the peat farm, and then these goblins just came and took them right from under my nose.
Which way did they go? We'll try and help.
She says they're out of town. We don't work around in the city. We work on the outskirts. I came here as quickly as I could to get some help.
Where's this farm? Peat farm.
She says, I could take you there. I really need somebody to help me as quickly as possible.
Welcome.
Whatever you need.
At this point, two large men in black armor start moving through the streets, kind of pushing people aside and kind of bossing people around. Stop blocking the streets! Move aside! And they make their way to this woman and looks at you three, the pair of them do, and they say, "What's going on here then?"
Well, she's in trouble, obviously.
Someone took this lady's family.
Let out a massive sigh, somebody rolling their eyes, and they say, "Right, where are they then?" And she says, well, I don't know, I need somebody to find them. They're like, "Right, what's your name?" And she says, "I'm Millicent Moss." And they let out another sigh. They say, one of them says, "What, the peat farmer?" And she says, "Yes, that's us, the peat farmers." And they again roll their eyes, and they say, "You should know by now that the Black Fist Guard jurisdiction only counts within the city itself. If you're on the outskirts, that's nothing to do with us."
You're not going to help her?
Nope, not our problem.
Well, I think I can tell why you're not popular around here.
One of them kind of looks at you and says, "We don't need to be popular, just effective at what we do."
Seems
Making
like you're
out
failing
okay.
on 2 counts.
Oh yeah? What's that then?
Well, is your job not to help people?
Our job is to help people that live in the city. She does not. So, that's not part of our job.
Is it like a rule? Is it like if you go outside the city, you'll like turn into smoke or something? Is it like you can't go outside because of something else? Are you afraid of going outside the city? It's not so bad.
They kind of look at you curiously, Fluff, and they say, "No, not afraid of going outside the city. We just don't have to, and we won't."
Or we could go with you if you want, if you are afraid.
The other one kind of looks at the other and says, "Oh, that's not a bad idea." The first one kind of lets out a big sigh and then pulls out a piece of paper from his pouch and hands it to you, Fluff, and says, "All right then, if you're feeling up to it, why don't you go check it out?" And this paper that he hands you is kind of like an IOU almost, entitling you to 50 gold pieces should you basically complete the services rendered in this particular instance. And it says, "Now," and he kind of takes it from you and kind of puts a kind of personal seal on it. And he says, "Now they will check, you know, if you have done what you say you're going to do. So don't go cashing this in before you've done your job, otherwise I will come find you."
Well,
you don't have
we're
to worry
just
about
staying
that.
We're staying at the inn there. We'll be there later when we've done the quest.
I lean down to Millicent and I say, where be your... Was it your farm they was taken from?
She says, "Yes, I can take you on my wagon. We're out in the swamps."
Not a problem. We'll come with you.
"Okay, thank you." And she kind of looks at the Black Fist guards who kind of are looking at all of you like, kind of looking down their nose at you, really, at this point. You are small fry to them. That becomes quite clear. and they'd rather not deal with the paperwork. Also seems to be quite clear, so to speak. And yeah, they don't stop you from departing, and Milivant kind of looks at them, kind of almost like a cue to leave, and they don't really give it, so she just kind of beckons you to follow and heads down the street.
We follow.
We follow. I follow after Milivant, and I say, "Don't you pay them no mind. They're nothing but empty breastplates.
That's a good one.
No, they're kind.
Are they empty inside?
They might as well be, for all it good."
She says to you, "Yes, I think you might be right. Come this way." And she leads you to her wagon, which is really rather... It's not in very good condition, let's put it that way. It's planks of wood falling off, the wheels aren't quite on straight, and she's got a little mule just kind of dragging it along as well, and she kind of hops up with her little boy, and she sits him down next to her and says, "There you go, Bo. Just sit there. These lovely, kind folk are going to help us." She just places Bo down next to her, and she beckons you to get on the back of the wagon.
So I'll sit myself at the very back of the wagon with my sort of feet dangling over the back.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Fluff?
I'd probably go up to the donkey and just sort of like nod my head and just not casting anything in particular, but just kind of like trying to show some courtesy and goodwill towards the donkey and just say, "Hello."
Would you like to give me an animal handling check?
Yes, I would. It's in that one.
Oh.
The mule doesn't even lift its head from chewing on the grass.
You're gonna get kicked in the head. Approach it from the back.
Never approach it from the back.
Being ignored by the donkey, just goes, "We're going to be best friends." And then flutters up and sits next to Bo, was it, sorry?
Yes, Bo.
Right, who is Milivant's child, I assume?
Mm-hmm. Yes, correct.
Probably about the same size as Bo.
How old was Bo?
Bo is about 3 or 4, quite young. Able to talk, but not really in much, not very good speech, if you will. Kind of early years.
So Taileth's gonna look at this wagon and just say, "I'm guessing this is what you meant. A heads up would have been nice," and then climb at the back to sit next to Fellin.
Yes. Okay.
Fellin's found a piece of wood that he likes, and he's just starting to carve. It's starting to whittle away while it rumbles along.
Nice. And yes, and she does absolutely get the proverbial wagon moving as she takes you out of town on the back of her wagon. And as she's kind of going through the sort of outskirts of the city, she says, "Oh, I'm ever so sorry. I don't think I actually caught your names."
I'm Fluff. Hello.
I lean over my shoulder. Fellin, sorry.
Taileth hesitates for a second and then goes, "Taileth, hi."
She kind of gives you all a smile and she says, pleasure to meet you all. Thank you for doing this. I thought nobody was going to come to our aid."
Well, we don't mind one bit.
So
Do the guards
Yeah, go on.
usually just refuse to help?
She says, "I certainly wasn't expecting any help from them, let's put it that way. They are heartless folk."
You know, their sorts more they care more about their position and their power than they do about using it for something.
Absolutely. Horrible, horrible people. And they're the ones that are basically running the city now.
What, those two?
Well, no, not just those two, but
Oh,
they are...
Have you had run-ins with them before?
Well, not personally, but everybody's got a story of nastiness from the Black Fist.
It's about
They don't care about anybody.
And what about these gobblings? They causing you problems? before? Or are they new to the area?
She says, I've not really had much problem with them before. It's certainly a new problem, one I wasn't expecting.
Goblins is tricks.
I've never seen a goblin before.
Oh, they're
I'm afraid they're, well, the ones I've met, not very nice. Usually you can scares them off. They don't tend to like a fair fight.
No, that's true. They pretty much scarpered as soon as I shouted after them. I just wish they hadn't taken my family with them.
You must be very brave.
We will try to get them back for you.
Thank you. It really does mean a lot. As I say, I wasn't expecting any help from anyone. It's not the most friendly of cities. I try not to go into the city if I can help it.
Well, we is not from the city, so that's why we're nice. There are nice people in the city, though. There are some, we've met them. They're nice. They have nice teas and bickies, and maybe after we get your family back, we will go for tea and bickies, and that'll make them feel better. Yeah.
That would be nice. Yes.
I felt much better at tea and bickies after yesterday.
Oh, what happened yesterday?
We just we met some other not so nice folk.
I had to do violence.
Self-defense, obviously.
They wanted to buy a fake egg.
She let's not burden her with anything more, shall we?
Sorry, do you not like eggs?
Oh, I like eggs.
It's just she's got a lot of it in her mind right now, and let's concentrate on the matter at hand.
You might not want to know about the fake egg that the man was trying to buy in the street.
So what's your husband like?
She says, "Oh, Haldred is a lovely man."
Haldred.
Haldred's a really nice name.
I mean, I didn't like it when we first met, but it grew on me, I suppose. And she says, he's a wonderful father to our children. I just hope he's safe. I know that if it's in his power, he wouldn't let anything happen to them, so I'm holding out hope that he's...
I'm sure it won't have happened then. He sounds like a good man.
He is. He is. And eventually, the wagon leaves the city, and you come on out to Swampland. She kind of leads the wagon through along as best a dirt path as she can. There's a lot of mud and marshland everywhere, and she eventually takes you to what looks to be like essentially a swampy field. And she says, "Here we are." She said, "This is where the goblins attacked." And you can see there's kind of like shovels and things kind of just scattered across the floor.
Fluff flutters back to Fellin and just sort of like leans into him as we're going through the bog and just says, "This must be where the bog standard tea's from."
Oh, yay. Oh, yeah. Maybe we'll have to try some. He doesn't want to.
No.
You don't have to try it. Did you see where the goblins came from?
She says, I didn't see where they came from. I'm not even sure how many there were, but I'm pretty sure it looked to me like they were taking people east. There were just too many of them for me really to count.
Okay.
And so I look at the sky and look east, and in that direction, do I see? Is that further into swampland, or is that going into sort of dry land?
No, it's very much almost more swampy swampland.
Yeah, hard to track in swamp. Although if there be an obvious path, they'll have taken that. So maybe.
Do you have any animals on your farm?
She says we have a few livestock, but it's not really our business. We've got a few pigs and things.
Fluff, looking around, sort of Would the pigs have been able to? Is it like an open pen that they would have been able to see what was going on when it happened?
It would certainly be potentially possible. It is quite a large sort of swampy field. It's sizable, certainly.
Well, I'd like to ritually cast Speak with Animals, please.
Ooh, okay.
So Fluff kind of gets like a little slate out that has like little maps and things drawn it, and like pulls out some like little twigs and like a little wand that's got like just things just coming out of it. It's quite sort of knobbly with like little bits of fine silver wire. There's like little semi-precious stones sticking out. It just kind of like starts to just
While Fluff is preparing the ritual, I would ask Malevolent to show me where they were taken from, so I can sort of have a look around the scene of the crime.
She does definitely kind of gesture to where all of those shovels and things are. She says, they were right here. She says, it was Haldred, Annina, Kithian, Quail, Volland, and
Goodness.
six of our hired hands as well were taken.
You have been productive.
Well, you know, when you're running a business.
Could I check to see if for any form of track of sort? I know it's swampy ground, but
Certainly, yeah. Would you like to give me a survival check, please?
absolutely. That is a total of 19.
19, very nice. Yes, there are some very visible tracks, some quite deep in the mud, and absolutely they are headed in that easterly direction.
Right. Do I get an idea from the tracks of numbers from 6 upwards?
In terms of how many goblins there were certainly in the region of probably, definitely more than 10.
Heavily, yeah, so it's heavily trodden.
Yeah.
Okay. That might help. Bunch
Alright.
of tracks is easier to find than to follow than just one.
Taileth, whilst Fluff is preparing the Speak Animals ritual, what are you doing?
Just waiting until I'm looking east, or where I think east is, keeping half our ear out if I get any insight.
Sure.
So yeah, just waiting. Don't think she's been in a swamp before, so
No, most people haven't. This is a rare sort of biome to find oneself in, certainly. So yes, there's lots of smells, and your socks are probably getting a bit soggy. And yeah, I imagine Taylor's probably feeling a little bit outside of her comfort zone in this place. But nothing really obvious catches your attention, certainly as you're kind of looking around, trying to gather what information you can. It just seems to you to be mucky swampland. Alright, so Fluff, would you like to describe your Speak with Animals ritual as it kicks in?
Yep. So he's like waving the wand. He just takes like one of the stones. It's kind of like, it's like a small piece of tiger's eye that is quite sort of like flat and smooth with like almost a little divot. And he actually like opens his beak and places it under his tongue. And then he goes over to the pig, and in fluent pig, he says, "Hello there."
And the rest of you kind of listen as there is an exchange of snorts between this pig and Fluff. The pig greets you with a hello in pig. Go ahead with your questions.
And in pig, Fluff's like, this nice lady, there was a man, another person, another human, and the piglets who were taken by goblins. Small, nasty things. What did you see and where did they go?
Just kind of chowing down. Yeah, lots of queen in
That's right.
took people and kind of points its snout in the direction that Fellin had seen the tracks. That way.
Thank you very much. Did you see how many goblins? How many small green men?
$20.
20, wow. Thank you very much.
I think it's 20. I don't particularly do much in the way of counting things.
Was it quite a large amount? More than the people that they took?
Yes. Is 20 a big number?
Quite a big number, yes.
It was a big number.
That's really helpful.
Yeah.
Could I ask your name, sir?
Phil.
Phil the pig. I'm sorry.
Well, Phil, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you today. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Enjoy the mud.
What was your name?
Fluff.
Same sort of sounding name, isn't it? Fluff. Phil. Starts with a F.
Yeah, and it has a L in it as well.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Well, nice to meet you, fellow.
Very nice to meet you as well, sir.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, are we on Sesame Street?
Today's episode is brought to you by the letter.
One goblin. Goblins.
Anything else you want to ask Phil?
May you sire many piglets, sir. May you enjoy the mud, and may your belly always be full.
And to you too. Bye.
Goodbye.
And all of this exchange, of course, is happening in snorts from your perspective, Fellin and Taileth.
Takes the stone out from underneath his tongue and says, "Yep, goblins went that way. Phil just told me. Phil said that there were about 20 of them."
Oh,
You
That?
got all that from going.
Oh yeah, Phil seems very nice. You've got a
Phil.
standout pig there.
Milivant is kind of looking at you curiously and says, "Oh, thank you."
You make sure you don't peel your carrots too finely now. Make sure he gets a good amount.
Oh, of course. We try and treat animals as best we can here. He didn't complain about me, did he?
Oh no, he's still got to speak with animals, so he puts the stone back under his. Are you a fan of Milivant? Milivant's just checking to make sure that you're well looked after.
She's all right.
Is there anything that I could tell her that maybe you'd be in the market for, seeing as you've been so helpful?
She don't feed me enough.
Doesn't feed you enough.
No, could do with more.
Takes out. Didn't feed him enough. You could do with more. Says you could do with some more.
Yeah. It's all the same stuff as well, no variety.
A bit more variety. What sort of thing would you like if you had, if we were going to lay a trough out?
I'm sick of bloody carrots.
Sick of bloody carrots. If we were going to lay out a perfect truffet that Phil would really enjoy, what would be on it?
And what do I want? Well, I like a bit of mushroom, bit of cabbage, and something, I don't know, vegetables do get a little bit dull. I see them eating like crunchy things, look like bread, but smaller, more crunchy. They look nice.
Do you mean bickies?
you don't understand, pig.
I don't understand. I just literally. I'm so engrossed.
There's no,
Let me rewind.
There's no word in pig for bickies. They just use the word bickies. So
Apologies, I got so engrossed in Phil.
like in French, there's no term for people pleaser, so it just used the word people pleaser. Yep. So he's like, so it just takes the thing as that bit. There's just that connection between Fellin and the Fluff. He's just that he wants bickies.
We can get them.
Mushroom bickies.
And Milivant says, I didn't even know pigs ate biscuits.
Everyone eats bickies, Milivant.
Oh. I mean, they are good. I do like a good bicky. Anyway, I kind of feel as though we've kind of lost sight of...
Gone off topic, yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, this has really sort of taken a turn, hasn't it? And, bye, Phil. And then sort of goes back to...
See ya.
I love Phil so much.
Can I just highlight my favourite word of all from now on? Truffet.
Truffet. That's when you don't even bother to fill your plate. You just eat directly out of the buffet.
Yes.
All right. So, what are you doing next?
So I point out the tracks to the others.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it looks like they went this way in fairly large numbers. I'll do my best to follow them.
Fluff, can you teach me how to do what you just did?
Maybe.
Great. I'll have to ask him as well.
It's really useful. People don't often understand that animals see lots of things.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope the horses don't talk. Anyway, let's go.
All right. So you're following the tracks. Milivant says, should I wait here for you to return? Is it safer to stay here, or do you want me to come with you? I mean, I don't know anything of what happened.
I think you should stay here.
Okay. Well,
unless you're a wizard.
Yeah,
No.
unless you're a very adept fighter or you do magic, I'd stay here.
No, she says, I can cook a good stew.
Ooh, we'll have that when we come back.
Lovely.
Okay, I'll get a pot on then for when you.
I can think of a chap with 4 trotters who love a stew. And he winks at Phil.
Phil winks back, and she says, "Yes, I'll get a pot on for when you return. Best of luck, and thank you again." As
Thank you.
you begin to trot off into the swamp. Sorry, no pun intended. You start looking to follow these tracks. So, Fellin, is it you that's doing the tracking at this point?
I think I'd be tracking at the front and using the handle of my poleaxe to sort of just check the depth, the depth of the pathway in front of us to stop us from getting literally bogged down.
Yeah, and there's a lot of really sticky mud that does you're kind of the end of your pole arm does kind of go quite deep into some bits of it. Some of it that looks actually like quite solid ground until you stick it in, and then you're just almost falling in.
Be careful.
Yeah, pretty precarious as you're tracking. So could I get another survival check from you then, please?
Can I get a third 17 on the die in a row? No, but that is a 14 this time altogether.
14. Okay. All right. So you do manage to keep a good awareness of these tracks as you're moving through, and the trail itself does become quite clear to you that about a dozen people have been dragged through the swamp. The prints are clearly to you more than a dozen goblin-sized creatures, so certainly the right size, that pass through this same day. You also notice that in amongst these tracks there is one larger-sized creature that's walked in amongst with them. The prints suggest that the creature was probably larger than a human, though not as large as something that you would expect, like an ogre or something like that. So larger than human, but not necessarily big.
I say, we'll have to watch out. He got a big un with him.
Big un?
Yeah, I don't know how big, but big un. Like these goblins.
Well, it's a good thing we've got a big un as well.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Nice. So after about an hour of following these tracks through the horrible swampland, you do eventually come to the end of this trail, which seems to lead directly into the mouth of a cave on the side of a hill just rising from the bog. There is plenty, though, of kind of brush and low vegetation around here, should you want to kind of hide and scope the place out, if you will.
Oh yeah, I turn to Fluff and I say, would you be able to, fly up and see if you can see any sign of a camp, a fire or anything like that?
Around here? Yeah, they might have little holes in the cave, mightn't they? I shall do my best scouting, sir.
I'm sure you was. I turn to Sorry, I was looking at. I turn to our elven friend. I say to Taileth, and I say, "Are you all right after that? It's an awful lot through the bog."
Yeah. It's unpleasant, but I'm okay.
Good. And how about your friend?
Oh, the environment doesn't really bother him in the same way as us.
That's convenient for him.
So, Fluff, you're
Hello.
taking flight to get a scope of the place?
Yes, I am going to do a little, just fly around, see if I can spot any camps, any fires, any smoke.
Okay. Would you like to give me a perception check then, please?
I would love to. That is a 14.
Okay. You do spot something. Kind of on the hillside, if you will. It looks to be a goblin having a conversation with what I would describe as a human-sized figure dressed in heavy cloaks that obscure their face.
Okay, it's going to flutter, sort of doing little, with his sort of silent owl wings.
Okay.
Do a couple of rings, and then sort of very slowly come back down to his fellows.
Okay. Do you want to give me a perception check then, please, just to see what you can hear of this conversation as you're circling around?
16.
16. Nice. Okay. You're going to pick up most of this conversation because they're not particularly speaking quietly because they're in the middle of a swamp. Who's going to be around, right?
We are.
So the goblin is talking to this human-sized person. The human seemingly talking in a human-sounding male voice, and the goblin is speaking in common, and it's kind of a bit broken common. And it says,
Only one raiding group return. They bring prisoners. Other raiding groups return soon. No more snake coin people found.
and the human nods and says, "Excellent. Tell Gorunk that my friends and I will pay lots of coin and give lots of gifts for all the dragon artifacts you can find. And kill any other humans who you find near your home." And the goblin nods and makes his way towards the entrance of the cave. And you watch as the cloaked figure just whispers a word and then just vanishes.
The cloaked figure just vanishes.
Yep.
Fluff circles back down and lands on. Yeah, thank you very much. Lands on Fellin's arm, and he relays everything he's just heard about the goblins. Slink, did he say his name was?
The goblin?
Yeah, or he said, did he refer to himself in the third person, Slink or something like that?
No, he didn't give a name. The only name that you heard was Gorunk,
Gorunk.
which was neither of the two people there, because the human told the goblin to tell Gorunk that my friends and I will pay lots of coin and give lots of gifts for all the dragon artifacts that you find.
Cool. Yeah, he relays that about the sort of humanoid person. Does he think it was a male human by his best guess?
It sounds that way, yes.
Cool. So yeah, male human looking for dragon artifacts, paying the goblins coin for it, raids, they've got prisoners that have come back, and Gorunk is another person involved.
And he just disappeared.
And he just disappeared. Thin air. Whispered a word.
Oh,
It'll be magic of some sort.
Well done, Fluff. We'll be careful. We ought to approach carefully.
Okay. So, what's the plan? You got a cave in front of you, essentially.
I suppose shall we try to sneak in?
Yeah. Which way did the goblin go that I saw?
Went into the cave mouth.
Went into the cave. Cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so.
I turn to Fluff and I say, "No, chances are when we get in there, we're going to have to do violence. All right, goblins, though they can talk and stuff. I don't think that they're going to be too happy to see us. They never seem to be.
Okay.
He's just sorry for what he might ask to do. I didn't like you seeing me like that yesterday.
It's all right. You're not angry at me.
No,
So-
no, never. I could never.
And I think those people probably, particularly those people yesterday that were trying to buy fake eggs and, trying to punch us and things, those strike me as the sort of people that it's okay to give them a little bit of a ruffling up.
Ruffling up, right? Yeah, that's what I might have to do. A fair amount of ruffling up in a minute.
That's a good way to put it.
Are you going to be doing some ruffling?
Yes, I'll be probably doing some.
That was when you did that yesterday. It's very scary,
Yeah.
but like in a good way.
Good scary.
Yeah, because he helps me with.
Thank you. More of that, please.
Thank you.
Okay.
Right, shall we? We should probably be quiet. Shall we approach?
Yes.
Fluff's going to pick
Right.
up some stones from the floor and sort of tuck them into a little pouch.
Sure.
I find with goblins, they's not very brave. Usually, if you go for the biggest one, they're not that brave on their own. So
So you fought a lot of goblins?
I spent most of my time in the woods, but the tribe, the ones that are allowed to go out and fight, or they protected us from the occasional goblin.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so how are you going to do this? How are you going in?
Well, if there's only one entrance to the cave that we can see, then I suppose it's just a case of quietly approaching as stealthily as one can through Bogland.
All right. Okay. In which case, then, can I get stealth checks from each of you? Anybody that's in particularly clanky armor, which I don't know. Fellin, are you in clanky armor or not?
I am unarmored. I am wearing my
We
my
have
gym
a
robe shirt,
low
and that's
AC
about it.
party here, don't we? We have a
Gym
squishy.
I've got my unarmored defense,
Of
baby.
course you do. Of course you do. Yes. Forgive me.
Barbarian. I've got my shield out.
Oh, that's not good though.
That was a 4, which is so bad for a half elf, but here we go.
Terrible. I got a 5.
17.
All right. Okay.
I can do stealth as this character.
All right.
You're doing that silent flying.
Yeah. My stealth is just because I'm on Felon's shoulder. Like I'm not.
Just very it's very squelch here.
All right. So you make your way through to the cave mouth, though, but there's a lot of water kind of around the cave mouth. Lots of splashing and sploshing, which is why Fluff is so quiet, because Fluff is just flying above it all as you're kind of just wading through all of this kind of bog water, and not to be confused with bog tea, of course. And you make your way into what is a sort of 10-foot wide passageway that is not lit, though there is a bit of sunlight that reaches just far enough into this passageway to let you see that it travels about 25 feet before it turns south. And there are sort of piles of rubble strewn in the passageway, just large enough to hide behind, should you want to. Is there anything you'd like to do as you make your way in?
Other than shake off the bog, the bog water from my feet. Yeah. I was like, that wasn't as quiet as I was hoping it to be.
And none the wiser.
I think we got away with it. I get my poleaxe out and just sort of carry on, sort of gently making my way down.
All right, can I get a perception check from everybody, please?
Our invisible friend know what we should do. Ooh,
8.
hello.
That's a 14.
Rolling really well. 25.
Nice.
25. As you're just kind of about settling into kind of making a way deeper into the tunnel, Fluff, you all of a sudden hear, seemingly coming from the wall directly in front of you before it turns south, you hear what sounds very clearly to you like guttural mumbling and then the pulling of a string. Like a bow. Let's roll some initiative, please.
Oh dear.
I am rolling like garbage today. 8.
A 10 for me.
Okay.
13.
Nice. 13 for you. And then, luckily, I'm going to count Fellin and Taileth as surprised, but Fluff, you're not surprised. Let me see. One of them has rolled really low on their initiative, and then the other one is... Oh, okay. Alright, so, first up then, Fluff. You can hear this string being pulled back as suddenly an arrow seemingly flies out of the wall, and it is headed towards Fellin. And that's going to be a 15 against your armor class, Fellin.
Oh, is that a hit? Beyond... Oh, that is a hit, unfortunately.
It is a hit. All right. In which case, then, this arrow flies through and just kind of hits you just right in, like, the pectoral muscle. And that is going to be a 6 piercing damage to you.
Okay.
And then that's going to be their turn. So, next up is Fluff. Now, as the only one not surprised in the party at this point, how do you react?
Okay, I would like to. How far away are they from me? Can I see them?
Do you want to give me a perception check?
Sure. I have dark vision up to 120 feet if that changes
Sure.
anything.
Yep, this is, at this point, because it's the wall directly in front of the entrance, it's still bright light, you've still got enough daylight, so you're not rolling with any disadvantage or anything like that.
Perception 26.
Okay, yes, you can actually see movement. There are kind of little holes in the wall that you can see on that eastern wall, and you can definitely see movement behind it. Obviously, anything that you are attacking from that side of the wall is going to be getting 3/4 cover.
Okay. How big are the holes?
They're basically like arrow holes, basically. So they're quite small. Yeah,
That little...
yeah, like little arrow slit type things.
How high... Sorry, lots of questions. How high up are the holes?
They're at varied heights, but they don't really go above, say, 4 foot.
Cool. Are there any large rocks around?
There are plenty of rubble around, yes.
And how far away is the wall from me?
The wall currently from where you are is only about 10 feet.
I would like to pick up a large rock. No, I've got a shield. I'm just going to use my shield. I am going to just run up to the wall, position myself away from the hole, and just, like, just cover the hole with my shield.
Of course.
I'm just say, quick, run for it.
There are obviously multiple holes, not just the one, just to be clear.
Okay. Do I get the sense that they would still be able to shoot me?
You're quite small. How big's your shield? I imagine it's fairly small as well, right?
It's like, maybe like a couple of feet in diameter.
Okay, well, I mean, you could certainly use that as basically total cover from where you are, at least, so it will protect you. At
Okay,
least for
cool.
that one hole.
Cool. Is that my action?
No, I'll count that as movement.
I don't know if this will work. Essentially, I want to cover that and try and get the others to be able to like go around the corner. Being next to the wall now, can I see like anything else across the route or like down the side?
Do you want to give me a perception check?
Sure. Perception is big today. That is a 25 again.
Ooh, yes, you do see something, actually. It seems that tunnel, first of all, it veers south, as you know, kind of opens up into a larger chamber, which is much darker, basically unlit at this point. But you have dark vision, of course, and you can see that there is, just where that tunnel kind of opens out into that room, there's a tripwire there.
Ah, and how far away is that tripwire away from me?
From where you currently are, it's about 15 feet away.
Cool. I am going to... moving one object that is neither held nor carried, but weighs no more than 5 pounds. With my shield there and in cover, I'd like to cast Gust at the tripwire.
Ooh.
So
Talk me through Gust.
So essentially, just for flavour, Fluff just uses his shield and his other wings to create this huge blast of magical air,
Nice.
and then plugs the hole again with the shield. It's a gust.
So you're doing
in
it
this
through the
instance-
hole, right?
No, not through the hole. I'm going through
Oh, the tripwire. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah, so I create a small blast of air capable of moving one object that is neither held nor carried, that weighs no more than 5 pounds, and push it 10 feet away. But my intention with this all cause a harmless sensory effect, like leaves rustling, slamming shutters shut, or clothing to ripple in a breeze. I'm trying to trigger the tripwire from here at a safe distance.
Okay.
I'm trying to knock it off its peg or like whatever it's hooked around.
Okay. So you go basically, essentially pushing the tripwire away, so presumably to kind of trigger it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So this gust of wind kind of moves down through the tunnel in front of you, pushing on that tripwire. And between you and where the tripwire is, you watch as a big pile of rocks just kind of collapses from the ceiling between you and where the tripwire is.
Mm-hmm. I give a thumbs up to Fellin, everyone. There was a trap!
All right. Anything else you'd like to do, Fluff?
No, all done for me, thank you.
All right. We have the other foe, hidden foe, such as it is. There go, before we go to the top of round 2, essentially. There is another pull of a string of a bow, and an arrow flies out for a 19 against your armor class, Taileth.
That hits.
Alright, I thought it might. For a total of 6 piercing damage, as it just kind of catches you, just kind of gashes against your side.
Ouch.
That's not good.
How many points?
I think I said 6, was it? I think I said?
Yeah.
Oof, 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 oof. Ouch.
Alright, and that's going to be their go. So then it brings us to the top of the round. There's going to be another arrow that's going to fly through. This time it's only going to be a 9 against your armor class Fellin, which I assume is going to be a miss.
Yeah, I dodged that.
Occasion. Alright, nice. As another arrow flies through, you've still got the arrow kind of embedded in your pectoral muscle, of course, as you're kind of moving around. But on this particular occasion, you managed to dodge, of course. So, Fluff, it's you again, as the highest of you lot with the initiative. So, what would you like to do now?
Right. Oh, I wasn't expecting it to come around to me so quickly. I would like to use... I would like to cast Magic Stone, please.
Okay. Yeah, talk me through.
So I touch the three pebbles in a pouch at my belt, and they sort of glow this kind of amber colour.
Nice.
And I pick up one, and with the shield there, so that's a bonus action. I take the shield down, just go throw it through the hole.
Nice.
Something beyond.
Of course, they are going to
And I'm
benefit
hoping-
from the 3/4 cover, obviously, that they've got through.
Even though I'm that close? Where's it still? Yeah.
Yeah, alright, let's be generous. Let's go with half cover instead, then.
That's very kind of you. Cool.
You caught me in a good mood, Isaac.
Always love to catch you at a good mood. So that is plus my spellcasting bonus, I think. Fabulous. So that is plus 6. So that is 19.
19 is absolutely going to hit as this amber glowing stone flies through the hole, and you hear a little bit of a squee, as it were, come from the other side of the hole.
Fantastic.
Roll damage for me.
So it's D6 plus my wisdom. Only 1 on the dice. That's 5 points of... What's the type of damage it is? Bludgeoning damage.
Bludgeoning damage. Alrighty. That is going to be enough. You watch as this thing, you see from the other side of the hole, this thing just drop to the floor.
Sorry! Turns back. I got one! And then plugs the hole again with the shield.
Nice. Alright, Fellin, finally, you're up.
In terms of distance from where the wall is facing us,
Yes.
how far past the wall from where how far would I have to run to not be be out of sort of the obvious sight line in terms of...
It's to kind of get around the corner, you mean?
Yeah, to get out where I can't see the hole, because if I can't see the hole, they can't see me.
Sure. I mean, because there's loads of rubble now, it
Yeah.
would have been about 25 feet, but call it 30 feet because of the difficult terrain of the rubble, I guess.
Yeah, cool. In that case, I'm getting angry. Not rageful quite yet, but angry. I snap off the edge of the shaft of the arrow. Don't pull it out. Never pull it out. And I'm going to run up to one of the holes that I saw arrows coming at me, not the one that's just had a stone flung through it. And I would like to jab my javelin as I'm through the hole.
Oh, because polearm, right? Isn't it?
Well, no, I've got a polearm. I have some javelins on me as well.
Okay, yeah. So is that
like
10 foot reach or?
No, I basically try and chuck it through
Gotcha.
through the actual, run up to the hole and just sort of jab because of the shape of it. It should I should be able to get. Whereas my axe ain't going. That ain't going through.
Yeah. I think that's fair. All right. Yeah. Roll to hit. Obviously, again, we're looking at cover.
Cool. So, how is that? What's my plus for that? 17.
17 is absolutely going to hit as you ram your javelin through the hole. Again, hearing a familiar squeak.
D6 plus my plus 3. That will be 6 damage.
6 points of damage. As you feel as you kind of jam your javelin in, you kind of feel it kind of slump on the end of your javelin as you yank it back out, and it drops. Then I leave the javelin in, and I just snap the javelin off in the hole. Nice.
So it stays there.
All right. Okay. That does.
Me.
Unfortunately, just before Taileth's go, does bring us out of initiative.
Oh, thank God. I was like, we've taken.
I'm so sorry.
Like,
6
there's
damage is a
another
big number at level 1.
Yeah.
If you were a wizard, you'd be dead.
Yeah. Let's just say I'm hanging on.
Well, how does it look?
Well,
Taileth?
2 hit points. So it's just basically like,
Yikes.
Yeah.
All right. So
I run over to Taileth. Is you okay?
No,
Don't pull it out.
No, I'm not no.
By holding the one end, the end that's in there, so it doesn't hurt too much. I snap off the shaft. We'll deal with it later.
I didn't sign up for this.
Oh! I might be able to help, possibly. Would you like me to help?
Yeah. Yes, please.
Did Fellin take some damage then as well?
Yeah, but don't worry about Fellin.
How much did Fellin take?
Also 6, but Fellin has more hit points than the warlock.
So Fluff kind of digs around in a pouch and takes out like a little. He's got like a little pouch full of what kind of look like dried juniper berries. He holds them in his hand and just kind of just hoots very lowly and like shakes his hands together, and they kind of rattle in his palms. Some amber light kind of appears through his feathered fingers, and as he opens his hands, they've kind of like rehydrated into these really nice, like glowing, juicy looking berries as he casts Good Berry.
nice.
So I'm down a spell slot.
How many berries do you have?
So I have 10 good berries.
Oh, lovely.
And he gives 3 to Fellin, and he gives 4 to Taileth, and he then takes the last one and like squeezes it in his fingers and like smushes it into the wound for an extra 1, so 5 total to Taileth.
Nice.
So I can get all 5 in one go.
Yep.
Yay.
I watch
That feels
you
better.
rubbing it into the wound, but I've already just put all 3 of them in my mouth. What do they taste like?
They are a mixture of kind of like the sort of tartness of some juniper berries, but with like the kind of really juicy gooseberries, if you've ever had a good gooseberry.
Very nice.
And they kind of burst in the mouth. And yeah, you also feel very nourished and sustained for the day.
Good, because I had to spit out those biscuits earlier.
Yeah.
I looked at you and says, "Oh, he's got such clever friends."
Well, quite clever. Like everyone can do this where I'm from.
Oh.
You got rid of the goblin.
Just looks through one that just has like Looney Tunes, like little owls, like flying around a lump in his head.
That's got me. That's got me.
There is
Slightly
seemingly, past this now, triggered tripwire deeper into the caves.
Oh yeah, look, says, well, we've come this far.
I feel better now. We can.
Watch out for holes in the walls. That doesn't seem very fair.
Yeah. Can you guys see in the dark?
Yes.
No. Is that a thing you can do?
Well, yeah, I'm an owlie.
That's why you hunt at night. I've always wondered.
I'm a half elf, so dry sight.
Yep.
Oh no, I'm afraid I can't. I was built for the daytime.
Do you have any torches?
But yes, I does. I get out a torch to sort of to show him. Oh yeah, I'll stay further back though, because I won't be very sneaky with this.
That's all right.
I spark. I get out a spark one of my torches, and I sort of just fall to the back of the group.
Nice. Very nice. Okay. Alright, so you spark that up then and head backwards. So you're at the back. Who's going to take up the front of the marching order?
I guess Taileth, if Fluff is flying, Taileth will gingerly take the front.
Fluff would be kind of like flying above Taylor's head, so he's also kind of in the same vicinity.
Alright, okay. So this gives you a much better view, of course, with the light, courtesy of Fellin's torch. As you can see, the room beyond the tripwire is kind of littered with ratty blankets, bedrolls, and kind of scattered with the small bones of what look to be like eaten rodents. The filthy remnants of what is probably considered fine goblin living, lice-ridden furs all kind of hanging up on the walls here. Can I get a perception check from everybody, please?
Terrible roll. 11.
9.
16. Taileth, one thing that seems to be pretty apparent to you as you're kind of looking around this space is one of the furs in the the southeastern corner is kind of like very subtly kind of like moving about, almost as if there's a little bit of a draft.
It's alive.
A fur of what's moving about?
One of the furs that's hanging on the wall.
Okay.
It's just kind of
And
like
I kind of
moving about, almost as though there's a draft.
You see that fur? There's no wind inside a cave. It's
No.
moving around. I think there might be something behind it. How far is the fur currently?
From where you currently are, probably about 20 feet.
Okay, is the fur sort of on the same level as me, or is it
Yeah.
higher?
It starts at the top of the wall and then kind of comes down. The wall here is only about 10 foot high.
Right, I could do something. But if there's something behind it, they would definitely know someone's here. Like, startle it.
What is you thinking of doing?
Do it.
That's...
Never mind, I trust you.
Just be ready. Just be ready. I'm gonna do Mage Hand.
Okay.
I'm gonna cast Mage Hand and shove it really hard. Shove the fur really, really hard.
All
So if
right.
something's behind it, gets hopefully shoved over.
Sure. What does your mage hand look like?
It is a very long taloned finger. It's a bit creepy.
Nice.
Ooh.
Let's proper villain finger with like sharp long nails.
All right.
Creepy.
Which you kind
And a
of
slightly purpley grey kind of colour.
cool. You kind of summon this rather unpleasant looking hand and just quickly pull the curtain
Like that.
aside.
No, I shove it into it.
Oh,
like
shove
this.
into it. Okay.
Yeah. So if
It's
something's
certainly-
behind it.
Yeah, it certainly moves past beyond where you would expect the wall to be. You don't hear anything kind of yelp out or anything like that, but certainly it moves past where you would expect the wall to be.
Oh, I think I found a hidden doorway.
Ooh.
Can I now move the curtain aside with said hand?
You can, and you can see there is a 10-foot wide, 10-foot long tunnel before it opens out into a larger room that kind of extends to the north, so kind of out of your line of sight. And like the other room that you're kind of currently stood in, this one also seems to be littered with bedrolls and the like, kind of really kind of basic, crude furnishings where presumably the goblins rest and relax when not out and about doing the terrible things that goblins tend to do, of course. You can just about make out, though, on the far wall, in your line of sight, before the rest of the cavern kind of branches out to your left, there is what looks to be a row of cages. You can only make out the far end of it, of course, on the east wall, one of which, the one that you can see, is housing a wolf, which is snarling and snapping in your general direction.
I'd like to ritually cast Speak with Animals.
It would take you 10 minutes.
It's in a cage, is it?
It is in a cage. There is more to this room that Taileth can't see to the left.
It's going to back up. And be like, nice doggy. Good doggy. And start to like ritually cast it.
Okay. We'll...
So presumably then you've not gone into the room proper, you're just casting it from the safety of the room that you're in, yeah?
Yeah,
yes, I would. While he's
wait.
doing that, I'd have a little poke around gingerly with the bedrolls and stuff to see what was in this room.
Okay, sure. Do you want to give me an investigation check?
Yes. Oh, do I get a... I think I've got a minus to that. Let's have a look. Investigation. Yeah, -1 is 14.
14. Doesn't seem to be as though there's anything of value in here. Just
That's
bedrolls.
fine. As long as there's nothing stabby. I check the wall for holes.
Taileth, what are you doing at this point?
I'm waiting for the ritual casting to end, and it's very much like this, like paranoid.
It's the longest 10 minutes ever.
Yes.
Well,
The anxiety is apparent.
it's not actually that long, because by the time you've just started to settle down, Fluff, to get ritual casting, you all very much hear the squeak of a cage door opening and snapping and snarling from deeper within the cave at this moment in time.
How far through my ritual am I?
At this point, probably only a matter of seconds.
Oh god.
I position myself in front of the others at the entrance, just not directly in front of the entrance of this thing. So I don't want to be standing like fully visible.
Sure.
But
just
making sure the others are
corner.
behind. Yeah, just make sure the others are behind me with my poleaxe out.
Okay.
Yeah, hide, get out the way, cover. What are those options? Duck and
Very
roll.
Very much debating whether to continue on this. Joe just,
He's doing it quietly behind a rock.
yeah, I'm going to continue.
Okay.
On. Might also try and dig in my pack for in my rations.
Okay.
Might try and pull out if we've got any kind of strips
Jerky.
of jerky, like dried meat or something like that, and sort of start throwing it at the door.
All right.
Nice doggy, good doggy.
Let's roll some initiative.
But jerky.
18.
Nice.
11.
13, baby.
Very nice. What was yours? Sorry, Taileth?
18.
18. Then Fellin was 13. Oh, sorry.
11.
Yours was 11. Was it Fluff's 13? Sorry.
Yeah.
13, yeah.
Fluff 13. Fellin 11. 11 for Fellin.
We only have to hold them off for, I think, 99 turns, and then we can talk it out.
That's under 100.
All right.
I can take the dodge action 99 times.
Successfully.
All right, so that's going to be... All right, so as it's looking right now, it's going to be, first of all, one of the wolves.
What?
All right, so the one wolf, you're going to... Well, actually, are you all kind of tucked around the corner? Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. Except Fluff, who's just kind of chucking...
He's like in the center of the room behind like just
Dude.
something really innocuous. He's
just like a bedroll, basically.
Yeah. He's like used a stick to like prop up a bedroll with a couple of sticks. He's like behind it, just kind of getting really low. Just doing.
All right. So this wolf is going to come bounding in.
He came bounding over.
Now, he's going to charge in, but he's going to have to... He's not going to be able to get to you, Fluff, without dashing. So he is going to dash and engage with you, Fluff.
As he does so, I believe by positioning, he's going to go within 10 feet of me, isn't he?
Correct. Yes.
Cool.
So you
I'm
do
going
have
to
an attack
use
opportunity.
my Polar Master.
Yes!
Use my reaction to get an opportunity attack against him.
Nice. Go
Stab,
for
stab.
Sweet. That is going to be a 16.
it. All right. Which is going to hit.
Lovely.
Oh.
So that's 1d10 plus 3. So let's not use this d10 before. That is 10 altogether.
10 points of damage, which is enough to get it into critical condition.
Nice.
And not enough to finish it
sort
off,
of
but...
bury it down as like bury the end into the ground, and so it sort of runs onto the end of it almost.
Nice. Very nice. Okay. Yeah, it's really... It lets out a yelp of pain as it charges in, and you basically just, catch it. A really deep wound. It then kind of hobbles towards Fluff. All right. Next up then is actually going to be Taileth. I always say Taileth. It's going to keep happening. Taileth. Yes.
Okay, where's the wolf on my turn?
So the wolf essentially is about 10 feet away from you.
10 feet.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the thing. It is going to get Eldritch Blast.
Yes.
Nice. All right. So that's a roll to hit then, please.
Yep. 23 to hit.
Nice. And that is absolutely going to hit. What's your Eldritch Blast look like again?
I did describe it last time.
It's all right.
It looks like that.
Yeah. Please see episode 1. I think I went for something now, because I did Witchbot as well. I can't remember. One of them looks like the lightning spell.
I believe that was
This
a
one
witch
had
bolt.
fire. This is, let's go for greeny fire.
The classic.
Nice.
A bit of fire with a hint of demonicness. There we go.
Kind of
Might look different every time.
Yeah. Like Maleficent's fire in
Yeah. Oh,
Sleeping
yeah,
Beauty,
that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kind of black in the middle, green on the outside. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Got fire.
Goth fire. Yeah. All right. Roll for damage for me then, please.
Is there any other kind, really?
That's 4 points of damage.
All right. How are you finishing it?
Well, it burns and greeny got fire as it howls.
How's
Maybe
its
it
final
skids,
howl?
so it's right in front of Fluff at the end, without touching him.
Fire to the little bedroll.
Yeah. As yes, it does indeed let out a final howl as it drops to the ground in front of Fluff, who at the moment is probably still trying to cast the ring.
As it knocks down the bedroll, he says, "No, my wolf break."
All right, Fluff. Actually, it is your go.
Cool. Can I see another wolf?
What's the range of your dark vision?
20 feet.
Yes, you can. The other wolf is still in the cage.
Is the cage open?
No.
How far away is the cage then?
The cage is about 60 feet.
If I can still see the cage, he's gonna continue on. He's gonna like take his ritual into the air and just continue ritual, just flap 30 feet into the air while he's like.
Well, there's only 10-foot ceiling.
10 foot up into the air, just bouncing his head against the ceiling while he does it.
Ow. Ow.
Ow, 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 ow. Sorry. So silly. Yes, 10 feet into the air, I suppose, then. Continuing to ritual cast this spell. 99 rounds down, 98 to go.
Fellin.
Well, seeing that this thing nearly got to Fluff, I look at that and I picture poor Fluff being set upon by a wolf, and this makes me so angry that I am going to rage.
Yay!
And you see as my haunches sort of ripple and tense up as I stride forwards towards the opening into this next room, and I stand in the entrance way for it, and I lock eyes with the.
So
will I be able to see the wolf?
Well, I was going to say, just to be clear, are you stepping into like where the fur is on the wall, or are you stepping into the room proper?
No, so I'd step into the entrance way in terms of to block entrance from that space into this space.
Sure.
And I sort of tear the fur away.
Nice.
From all to stand there with my poleaxe forward and I will. So what I'll do with my action, I'll take my torch and I'll chuck it into the room.
Nice move. Yes. Okay. Yeah, and that does light up certainly enough that you can definitely see the wolf. Very clear view.
Just lock eyes with the wolf.
Could I get actually a perception check from you, please?
Certainly. That's an 18.
All right. You actually hear a kind of shriek from the room, like a high-pitched shriek, a very brief high-pitched squeak, or shriek rather, as this torch flies into the room.
Do I get any idea of what manner of being?
Do you want to give me a nature check?
Oh, surprisingly not good. Oh, but it's a natural 20. I would say surprisingly not good at nature, but that's a nat 20.
Most definitely a goblin.
Yeah. Cool. That's me done. I'm just standing here
Righto.
ready. I've got my reaction if I need it.
Okie doke. Now then, no sooner do you hear such a shriek as you see this goblin run towards the cage with the wolf in that you can see, and he's going to use his action to open the cage door.
Good.
Don't do that.
All right. It is then the wolf's go, and the wolf is going to run in, ravenous with hunger, straight towards the rather meaty-looking Fellin. Now, let me see. It can just about engage with you.
I would like to use my reaction to attack it, please, with my polearm master.
I think you've already used your reaction, right? With your
No, that was before my turn.
And
It
yes.
was my turn.
Yeah,
Was in between.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Yes, you're right. I always forget that reactions trigger not at the top of the round, but at your turn. All right. In which case, then go for it.
Sweet. So as it charges in, I go, come on then! And I dig the end of my polearm into the ground, stick the speary bit forwards.
Nice.
That is what is my please going to hit? Dirty 20.
Which it certainly will hit.
Absolutely. Lovely. So that is going to be that is 8 plus 8, 11.
11 points of damage. How are you finishing it?
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I literally just go, come on then, and I sort of turn away as I sort of hold it forward to let the wolf skewer itself.
Nice.
On the pointy bit at the end of the glade.
All right.
Let the donkey see the carrot.
And you do indeed see a look of panic appear on the goblin's face as it looks towards you. All right. Next up, then, we're actually officially now at the top of the round. Taileth, you're up first.
Where is the second wolf in?
So
Really?
all the wolves are down now.
All of them are down, yeah.
All of the
It's
wolves
just a
are
goblin
down.
left,
There's
is
just
it?
a goblin.
Okay,
left.
where's the goblin?
The goblin basically is near the wolf cage that you first saw when you looked into the room. He's
How
just opened it.
many feet? Because I've not moved.
Yeah, about 40 feet.
40 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that one's out. Oh, that one is too.
You can, of course, move
Actually-
closer.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I am going to move 10 feet closer so I can cast. Oh, or should I save that? Actually, I'll stay where I am and just do another Eldritch Blast.
Alrighty. Okay.
So it has a long.
Goth fire attack.
Yeah.
Alright, roll to hit for me then, please.
Oh, for fuck's sake. 8.
8
No.
is going to miss. Spectacular though it looks, you just managed to just light up the inside of the wolf's cage for a brief moment. The kind of straw that's kind of in its cage just kind of igniting and then quickly fizzling out. Anything else you'd like to do?
I took my action and
You did?
that's it.
Alrighty.
Right,
Okay.
that's it.
Next up then we have Fluff. Currently you
Fluff.
are. There are no wolves in sight at this point.
He kind of like just sadly sort of flumps with his Bardic focuses and just like, there aren't any more wolves to talk to, are there?
Not unless you got to speak with Dad.
Is that from Fellin?
No, that's very sassy.
So he just puts his things away and recharges some of the stones as he casts magic stone again. This time he has a sling in his little talon, so he kind of like swoops down next to Fellin and slingshots. I know it's not technically it's more like a.
I mean, sure.
And yeah, it should be one of those actually.
I
It's
prefer
like
the Dennis the Menace style.
Yeah, practically speaking, it should be a sling because they're one hand. I can still keep my shield out. So,
True.
just for mettering.
very dexterous talons.
Yeah. I'm completely min-maxing this owl. You know, he's such an overpowered edgelord by the end of the campaign. So yeah, cast magic stone, throws amber, and just whips out of the sling for an 18 to hit the goblin.
All right, which absolutely will hit, of course, as it tries to hold up a shield to try and defend itself, but you're just slightly too slow on the uptake, as it were.
That is a total of 8 points of bludgeoning damage.
Very nice. Not enough to finish it, of course, but big enough to give it a bloody black eye as it strikes it right in the face.
Punches a hole through the shield.
Yeah. And he's kind of there holding his eye. Anything else
He
you'd like
just
to do?
shouts, "Surrender!"
Nice. Fellin, you are raging.
I let the wolf slide off the glaive, and hearing Fluff shout surrender, I stride towards the creature saying, "No, don't." And I am raging and I'm rolling to attack with my glaive.
All right, you can just about close the gap.
Sweet.
Just about. So yeah, go. Roll to hit.
Play. Cool. Let me just check the damage roll. Lovely. Yeah. So roll to hit. That is going to be a 21 to hit.
Of which is absolutely
What is my
gonna-
plus? What is my plus? I think it's 20. Oh, my proficiency bonus as well. Yeah, 23 to hit. Sorry.
23. Well, yeah,
Ooh,
definitely. Against a lowly little
definitely.
goblin in leather armor and
Yes.
shield. Yes.
So the damage is going to be D10. It's only a 1, but that's plus 2 for rage and 3 for strength. So 6 damage.
6 damage. How are you finishing him?
It's literally a case of he brings it round and just so he's almost holding the very furthest end of it and brings it down like a big old axe straight down on the top of the poor little thing.
Which lets out one final cry as you finish him off, bringing silence once again to this swampy cave. So, what would you like to do?
I turn to the others, goblin blood over my face, sort of panting as I slowly sort of come out of my rage, and I look, my eyes were sort of towards Fluff, and I was like, "Oi, sorry, little one. I know you wanted to talk it to them."
Fluff just kind of has his massive eyes open, just kind of like hugely dilated, and just hands him a handkerchief to like mop his
Aw.
He says, "Don't say sorry. You were protecting us. I don't really think, in hindsight, that me continuing to cast something that costs 10 minutes was the best thing to do while they were running towards us.
I agree.
Thank you.
I have, in all honesty, nearly been eaten by wolves on more than one occasion. They do rather seem to think that I'm a meal."
These things look like they would eat any of us.
They won't be eating nothing now.
No.
Can I
Now-
see...
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Uh,
I was going to say something.
Can I see... I'm gonna look at this goblin corpse.
Which
Okay.
half?
I'm gonna look through pockets.
All right. Searching for anything in particular, or just
Money,
loot?
keys, loot, clues, trinkets.
Okay.
Evil monologues.
Yeah.
National insurance card.
The the evil agenda folder with tabs.
Scrapbook.
Yeah.
So it's carrying shortbow, scimitar. It's got goblin side, leather armor, and a shield with now a big hole in it, courtesy of Fluff's attack. It's also carrying a couple of silver pieces.
Yoink, I
That's
think is
about
the
it.
appropriate term.
That's about it. What I would say, though, is now that you've got a little bit of a better view of this room, you can see that it does curve off to the northwest in the direction of the tunnel that you entered through. And also you can see in the northeast and southeast corners there are a couple of rather crude kind of makeshift doors, if you will.
In the room with the wolf.
This is the
cage.
room with the wolf cages, yeah.
Are there any mushrooms growing in this cave? Asking the important questions, obviously.
Yes, of course. What did you have in mind?
Phil said that he wanted mushrooms, and
I see.
we are on a quest, you see.
Aww.
Sure.
And
Do you want to give me a perception check?
to the pig go the spoils, I think.
Some
It's
opportunistic
impossible
foraging.
to be an edgelord in this campaign.
Actually, no. A survival check is probably more appropriate than a perception check.
Lovely. That's a 13 then.
Okay. You find some small mushrooms. They're not particularly large in size, but there are a handful, say 5 tiny little mushrooms.
Of the edible variety,
What was your nature check score?
13. I do have a herbalism kit, if that's of any benefit.
Oh, okay. And presumably you are proficient in survival.
Oh, yeah.
So actually, roll that again then. Roll it with advantage.
Cool. 16.
16. All right. Yes, you're pretty content that these are small but edible mushrooms.
5. Small but edible.
At most, Phil will be tripping balls.
Yeah.
Indeed.
He'll believe that he can talk to anyone now.
Yeah.
He doesn't
You-
think that
you-
I cast a spell. He thinks that he's a magic pig.
Yes, exactly.
You'll
You've
just start
completely
talking
opened
to
up
a
his
rock.
worldview now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd die for that pig.
Oh.
Beginning. This is the beginning of the real campaign.
Yes.
Phil gets above his station.
Yeah.
Phil is the bee-beg.
Yeah, my backup
Defiance.
character is Phil.
Defiance said pig instead of that.
Alrighty. So, what would you like to do next?
Go into
Is-
the room with the cages.
Okay.
Have a little look.
Can I please look at the floor to see if there are any more tripwires?
Sure. Give me a perception check.
Good idea.
Good. 8. All
8.
clear, everyone.
Indeed.
Is there another? Does this room go further, or is it,
Yeah, as I say, so it curves kind of round back in the direction of the tunnel that you came in through, and then you've got the doors on the far side. So there's kind of basically a door directly in front of the tunnel that you're entering the room from, and then there's also one in the northeast corner as well, kind of parallel.
Okay. I suppose I will go to the closest door, the door straight in front of us, and I will just sort of, if there's no keyhole or anything like that, I will just listen to the door to see if I can hear anything from within.
Sure, give me a perception check, please.
Lovely, that is a 16.
All right. You can hear a little bit of movement in there. These aren't particularly sturdy doors anyway. They're kind of like makeshift, almost like fence panels come doors. You know, they're not particularly thick. You can hear some chatter in there, seemingly amongst some goblins. So there's definitely some goblins in there, without doubt. I say that. What was your perception check again? 16. Let me rephrase that. There are a couple of individuals talking goblin.
Does it seem to be in panicked tone or just...
No, quite calm. One of them is of a deeper tone than the others.
Oh. I turn to the others and I'm like...
Just points at...
Not for podcast listeners, I mouthed. I mouthed. There's some in there. At least 2, maybe more.
Yeah. Just point at the poleaxe and Taylor's hands. Just that, for the podcast listeners, I mimed Eldritch Blast and repeatedly stabbing things with a poleaxe.
We need audio description for this.
Yeah. Wayne grimaces yet again.
Wayne does a spit take.
Has a look of panic on his face when Isaac asks him the name of the pig.
There was a definite look of panic.
It was just inspired.
Wayne rolls through his Rolodex to find what noise a pig do.
I feel like the pig was channeling like Jason Statham, definitely.
The pig's last name is Mitchell.
I was feeling a little bit more Phil Mitchell than I was Jason Statham. I'm not gonna lie. All right. Anyway, back to the matter at hand. What would you like to do?
There's 2 in there, maybe more.
We burst in and we just...
Okay. Barge into the room.
All right. You charge on in, and this opens up into quite a large room, which has been furnished very much in the way that most of the other rooms have been. This one, though, is lit with torch, interestingly. And you can see that there are, unlike some of the other rooms, some serviceable tables and chairs, some food and drink of not great standard, but it's food. And you can see, actually, that there's an even larger chair just kind of sitting on a granite slab at the far end. You can see that there are several passageways that lead out of here. And there is a goblin stood next to a much larger goblinoid creature. Furry, fanged goblinoid creature. So, do you want to give me a nature check, Fellin?
Yeah. That's a 17.
That's a bugbear that you're saying.
I'm not properly part of the Bardic Quest group until I've had to deal with bugbear. Am I?
It's true. You can also see there are 2 large cages at the back of the room, which seem to hold about 11 prisoners.
I thought you'd say 11 wolves then.
No. There is also... They all look like kind of like muddy and kind of covered in swampness. Except for one of the prisoners, who looks to be a human dressed in black underclothing. The kind that you would typically see worn underneath armour is also in the cage.
Ooh.
And the bugbear kind of narrows its eyes at you, Fellin, and says, "Who on this earth is you?"
I look at him and I say, "I'm gonna kill you!" And I just run directly at him.
All right. Well, in which case then, shall we roll some initiative?
Aggressive negotiations.
Fellin did not know how to react to his name being asked. Then he's like, "Oh, didn't. I was expecting speakings."
Ooh. All right.
Oh, nice. I've got quite a
Dirty
few.
20.
I've got quite a few stats where I've got just a +0 to stuff, so it's making my life very easy just having to read the die.
It is much easier that way. What you got for me, folks?
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Nice.
16.
All right.
With my bonus of +0, an 18.
All right. What's your dex score?
Me,
Yes.
+0.
Okay. All right. So.
I'm a clumsy owl.
All right. In which case, then, Taileth, you're actually up first. You've obviously heard this coming from the other side of the doorway. What would you like to do?
I will run in
Yeah.
and let's go straight for. Let me double check.
Don't forget, there is a goblin and a bugbear here.
Yeah. I will get. Let me just double check. I will get within 30 feet of the bugbear
Okay.
and cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter.
Ooh, talk me through.
Well, if this. You will. You'll have to succeed a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw for the bugbear.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a natural 20 on the wisdom saving throw.
Oh, feck off.
Sorry.
What's its intelligence score?
His intelligence
Is it-
score is...
Is it under 4 or less? Is it 4 or less?
No, it is 8 on a bugbear.
Okay, yeah, then that doesn't.
I mean, if it was under 4, he wouldn't be able to speak.
He may come to regret failing that.
Yeah, so if he. Well, it says that failed then. He just saw this elf run in, do something weird with her hands,
Tough crowd.
and then look confused when it didn't work.
No.
And he's focused on Fellin at first. He was kind of charging in, and then he kind of throws you a really curious look, like, who the
and then
hell are you?
Just doing mime work at the side.
And then she'll shout, "Oh, come on!"
All right.
That's her turn. I used that dirty 20 well, didn't I?
Bear then is going to kind of remember the matter at hand as he focuses back in on you, Fellin, and he goes, "Not if I kill you first!" And he charges in with his Morning Star swinging, and he is going to... Oh, although that's a bad roll, that's going to be a 9 against your armor class.
I suppose if he can, he's got a he's entered my reach. So can I also try and hit him?
Yes, you may, because
I don't know. Yeah, because he's got long arms, hasn't he? But I've got reach as well. Yeah, I think if he can hit me, I can hit him. Can't
certainly, yeah.
I? Oh, I'd hate to face one of these holding a poleaxe.
No,
Gee.
right.
It's a long distance relationship at that point. That is 19.
19 is absolutely going to hit as he swings for you and you sidestep and jab him.
And that is, I'm not raging yet, so that's 12 damage.
12 points of damage. Very nice. As there's definitely a look of shock on his face as you kind of just outmaneuver him basically and just ram this into his side. Nice. That's gonna be his go. So, Fluff.
I would like... Is the goblin...
Mm-hmm.
How far away from the goblin... How far is the goblin away from Fellin?
About 30 feet. No, from Fellin, about 20 feet.
Okay.
30 feet from the
get-
doorway, 20 feet from
Won't be
Fellin.
able to get both of them then. But... Might... Do I want to use this now? Maybe not. That might be something to use later on. For more people. Fluff has had utilizing his various spells that he's kind of come to learn in his time in the woods, trying to think of ways that he can use them on adventures. And now is not the time, but the time will come. He is going to swoop into the room and use magic stone again and flip a stone at the bugbear's head.
Nice. Alright, go for it.
Natural 19 on the die for a 25, I think.
Very nice. And you hit him right in the forehead.
Woo! And that is 7 points of bludgeoning damage to the bugbear's forehead.
How many points, sorry?
7.
7 points. Very nice. All right, as he lets out a cry of like, oh no!
Sorry, but it was also meant to. Sorry, you should surrender.
Anything else you'd like to do?
How tall is the room?
10 foot.
I will stay on the ground, but away.
Righto. Fellin.
Sweet, yeah. I would no sooner have I calmed down, but once again my haunches are up, and I am going to use my bonus action to go into a rage.
Nice.
So I pull the glaive clear and swing it back down upon him.
Awesome.
So that's a natural 20.
Oh, very nice.
That'll do.
The first one of the. Is it the first one of the?
I got a crit, a nat 20 on a perception or something check earlier. I can't remember what it was, or some form of check.
Certainly the first critical hit, I believe.
Less impactful than the combat one.
You see through time.
So is that double the dice? That's 2d10 plus the 5 for the rage and strength bonus. So that is going to be both 6s, so 12 plus 5, 18.
17 points of damage. Well, fuck me. How are you finishing him?
Literally, I pull it out, spin around, and just cleave. like chopping a tree.
There is a look of shock on his face. He just goes, oh, as he drops to the ground. The goblin who's in the room now looks like he's certainly no longer looks green so much as white.
Yeah. I stare at him. I've got my movement. I'm just going to walk over to the goblin.
Just like casually stroll
Still
over.
just like walk over to him.
Nice. And he just kind of like cowers at your like in front of you. But it's only got a little scimitar. Anything
And
else?
that's my go.
All right. The goblin here. Interesting. The goblin here is his look of panic is going to turn to look of anger as he kind of looks at the bugbear, looks up at you, and then just kind of just goes "Bah!" at you and just tries to shank you.
Go for it.
For a that's going to be a 13 against your armor class.
Meets his beats.
Oh, meets his beats. Oh, okay. So that's going to be... Oops, it would help if I didn't drop my dice on the floor. Oh, that's going to be an 8 piercing damage.
Well, unless...
Sorry, slashing damage. Slashing damage.
Slash damage. Unless that is a magical scimitar, that's going to be 4 slashing damage.
Of course it is,
as
because
I
you're
rage.
raging. Indeed.
I'll just let him carve it into me.
All right, and as you seemingly don't react, it's then going to use its bonus action to disengage.
Oh, tight.
And it's going to actually move towards the southwestern corner of the room, towards what you can see, Fellin, certainly from where you are, another tunnel similar to the one that you kind of moved through. It's kind of where that doorway was, essentially. A similar such doorway in that southwestern corner. I may have said eastern. I get my easts and wests confused really easily, so yes, southwestern corner.
It's hard when you can't see the sky.
Alright, that's going to be its go, which brings us to the top of the round. So, Taileth, at the moment, the goblin is now directly south of you after it's just tried to shank Fellin and decided that discretion was the better part of valor at this particular instance. What would you like to do?
How many feet away from me is...
It is
wretched creature?
35 feet away from you.
35 feet. Well, I have used my spell sword, so let's do Eldritch Blast again.
Ooh, go for it.
Which touch wood, doesn't fail me.
Got fire.
Got fire!
Got fire!
Ready?
Oh, nice. That's going to hit.
Yeah, got fire.
Burn him.
I didn't mean to make a goth, but somehow here we are.
It just happened.
It just happens.
Accidental
That is 5.
edgelord.
Yeah. 5 points of damage.
All right, 5 points of damage is not going to be enough to finish it, but it is in critical condition.
And yeah,
Anything
her
else you'd
eyes
like to do?
glow a bit. Her eyes glow a bit fiery as well.
Ooh, very cool. Anything else you'd like to do? Bonus action or
That is
movement?
it.
Alrighto. In which case then, Fluff, you're up.
Just flies in. Magic stone.
Aww. Cute.
Nice.
Slings.
I love Fluff.
That's a dirty 20.
Oh my goodness, all the dirty 20s. Well, certainly that's going to hit, of course, as you fling your amber stone towards this goblin.
6 points of bludgeoning damage.
How are you finishing him?
As he's running, just... thunk.
Yeah.
Just-
The ground does half the work.
Right. Okay, and calm once again settles into this cave as all of these prisoners are currently, like, watching wide-eyed with amazement, just, like, not saying a word to you.
I turn to Fluff and I was like, could I have another hanky, please?
Aww.
produces another hanky.
Well done.
Yeah.
That was good. And then she sees everyone staring at them and goes, "Hello."
We come in peace.
They all kind of cautiously wave back.
As I'm calming down, I look at the through the bugbear's halves to see what I can find.
All right. Okay.
Did the goblin have a scimitar?
Yes.
Yes, the goblin did have a scimitar. Yes.
Can I take it?
Of course, you're a druid.
Ooh.
Yes, you may. By all
Spoils
means.
One of my first
Um,
murders.
So, the bugbear is carrying a key, which is kind of tucked in a little pouch, and is also carrying 8 gold pieces,
Oh, lovely. I
as well
hold
as
the-
obviously weapons and the like, if those would be of interest.
as I'm rooting through, I find the gold first and sort of just hold it out behind me to
Yeah. Yeah.
not
Taileth
interested.
takes
Not interested. Third thing. Like, ooh, and I pull out the key, and I pull out the key and go, ooh, this.
That should open the cages.
Oh yes, I hand it to you, and then I pick up the Morning Star, and I'm like, oh, he likes that. I sort of pop that at my
Hook it onto your belt.
hang that on my belt.
Yeah.
Fluff picks up the scimitar. What's the scimitar look like?
It's a pretty crude scimitar. I mean, obviously made of metal and the like, so it's not like a wooden scimitar. But it's not in great condition. It looks as though it's kind of had the like handle and the hilt just kind of like strapped together in some sort of like repair. Big chunks missing out of the side of the blade, but certainly functional.
Okay. He might fashion a new handle for it, but he takes it as the spoils of war.
Nice.
And he like finds the scabbard for it, if there is one, just kind of like lashes it to his back and says, "My first treasure."
The man in black that's in the cage says, "When you're done taking what you're claiming, do you want to let us out?"
Well, after that comment, I'm opening your cage last, and I literally gonna start at the other end of the room.
Just opening all of the cages and
Yeah.
all of the prisoners
Yeah.
who look terrified but equally grateful.
Yeah.
There's a man and some kids and some other kind of men as well, and they're all like, "Thank you so much. We didn't get anything. Anybody was going to come and save us."
Yeah, your Milivent?
Haldred.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah, your wife sent us.
Thank the gods for that woman. Oh, and thank the gods for you, of course. I honestly, I thought we were going to be eaten or something.
Have they been eating people?
Well, I don't know. Is that what goblins do? I've only heard
Did
stories as a kid.
Did they say why they took you?
No, I don't think so.
I look at I notice the guy the man in black. You say it's noticeably the same sort of clothing that those guards were wearing. Cool.
Not necessarily the same sort of clothing, but it's the sort of clothing that you would expect to see underneath.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's
Okay. So
Under
I wouldn't make that assumption then.
Yeah.
Some sort of ivory dude.
Thinking that could potentially, I will always say that strange garb you have.
And he looks down and he says, "What about it?"
You don't look like the others. What are you doing out here?
He says, "If you let me out, maybe I'll tell you."
Well, we're going to let you out. We're not monsters.
Give me a minute, and I'm like on one of the cages.
What you take us for? Well, it'd be awfully cruel to leave you in here on your own.
Without anyone to talk to.
You never quite know who you're dealing with around these parts.
Well,
No, not until they tell us. So who are you?
He says, "My name's Charb."
Chubb?
Charb.
Pub.
Well,
Charb.
Charb, I'm Fellin, and these are my friends.
Pleasure, I'm sure.
And what do you do, Charb? What are you doing out here?
He says, "I'm not telling you anything till you get me out of this cage."
You're
turn
being
to,
very snipsy.
You're very ungrateful.
I turn to Taileth and I'm like, go on then.
And she opens it slowly. Now,
And he,
who are you?
Steps out and dusts himself off, and he says, kind of almost passive-aggressively, says, "Thank you very much." And he says, "Name's Charb, of the Zentarium."
Zentarium?
Would you all like to give me a history check, please?
Yes.
I think this is appropriate. 6.
6.
15. 15.
Yeah.
All right.
We don't know. We're from the woods.
Yes, and indeed,
That's
Taileth,
some sort of bird.
You are indeed the only one, Taileth, who's heard of the Zentarium. And what you have heard is not all that good, to be honest. They are a very significantly sized faction across the Forgotten Realms, who are also known as the Black Network. Basically, this is a faction of organised crime, if you will. A mercenary band who kind of functions somewhat like a mafia, in so much as, to the public, they seem to be a legitimate business network. But actually, behind the scenes, it's shady wheelings and dealings, trying to really assert their power and gain power through less than savoury means, such as extortion, manipulation, blackmail, etc.
Right,
Okay.
get back in the cage.
Yeah, she's going to say, I've heard of you lot. Just remember us. Remember you got saved.
He says, "Oh, I don't think I'll be forgetting you lot anytime soon." So, his wife sent you here, did he?
Yes. She was upset, in distress.
Someone had to help her. The guards in the city didn't want nothing to do with it.
Right.
How did you get caught?
He says, "I was out here on a assignment. Just trying to investigate what's been going on around here. Some strange happenings going on. Apparently, there used to be a black dragon around these parts until quite recently."
In the swamp.
Yeah, that's where black dragons like to hang out.
Haven't seen any.
But
I think
for
I can remember.
some reason, tales are that this black dragon was making deals with humans, which is a little bit unsettling.
I did overhear a conversation between a man in a robe talking to a goblin about dragon artifacts.
Interesting. I don't know anything about dragon artifacts. Although, that being said, the stories are that a few adventurers came and slew the dragon and took with it all its hoard. So maybe, I don't know, maybe that's the dragon artifacts they're talking about. Maybe things from the hoard. But yeah, so I was about to head out and report what I'd found. And then, well, the goblins caught me.
I feel bad about it. There was a lot of them.
Well, I have heard the goblins talking amongst each other about talking with humans, so perhaps that's what you witnessed, my little friend.
Yeah.
I am of the understanding that down there, and he points to like some deep tunnels, he says there are possibly hundreds of goblins down there.
Oh. He thinks I was a bit tired for that.
I would consider, if I were you, getting out of here as quickly as you can, should any of them realise that you're here.
Well, we need to take these people back.
That's what we're here for.
Well, I would, of course, be happy to accompany you that way.
As we're friends.
Yeah, as we're friends.
She doesn't say anything. Just tries to read Charb.
All
Fluff
right.
completely audibly to everyone was just like, saved a bunch of people, made a friend, killed some goblins. That, my friends, is a quest.
No.
It is a quest.
Shall we get out of here then?
Yes, we need to go get our prize.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got another prize.
Is there anything else before we leave? Is there anything else in the room that we notice?
Or just through the doorway that the goblin was heading towards?
Oh yes, no, that we haven't looked there, but do we want to go through there?
Peek.
A little
That's-
peek.
That doorway actually leads back into the room with the cages with the wolves.
Cool.
Yeah. The only other exits out of here is deeper into the goblin den where the supposedly hundreds of goblins are.
Oh yeah, no.
All right. So you're heading back with all of the prisoners in tow and Charb as well. I mean, he was a
The
prisoner as well.
liberated.
All right. So you march then across the swampland. The prisoners and the husband you've rescued just spending the entire journey just trying to say thank you in as many ways as they possibly can. And one after the other. Yes, thank you. And, thank you so much. So grateful that, Mummy found you to come and save us and all that sort of stuff. Just the whole journey. Charb doesn't say much. He's just kind of quietly following at the back, just kind of observing this all. And you make your way then back to the peat farm with Milivant there, and Phil, of course. And she's laid out in the middle of the field, kind of so she can see you coming. She's laid out a little table. Well, I say little table, there's quite a lot of you. A big table with a nice sort of gingham kind of tablecloth with bowls of, empty bowls at the moment, but a big pot of stew in the middle of the table. And she kind of is waving to you from the field as she sees you crossing the swampland. And as you approach, her kids run towards her, giving her big cuddles, and very emotional from Milivant. She's just kind of sobbing into her children's shoulders. Her husband kind of greeting her too, giving her a massive hug and kind of just gesturing their thanks towards all of you. And she says, please, come, sit, have something to eat. Thank you so much.
I'm afraid we've brought slightly more guests than we planned.
She looks to Charb kind of curiously, and he kind of gives her a nod.
Is it Charb?
He says, pleasure to meet you.
He's one of the zebra twins.
She kind of looks at you curiously, Fellin, and she says, oh, well, you are welcome to join us for stew, if you like. And he says, no, I think I might head back into the city. I've got things to report. But could I have a quick word with these before I depart? He gestures to you three.
Yep.
Okay.
He says, I just wanted to give you this. And he gives you a pouch.
Ooh.
And
What's in the pouch?
as you open it up, you can see that this is a collection of various gemstones. To your eye, probably worth in the region of about 100 gold pieces collectively. And he says, I managed to swipe that from our goblin friends before we left.
Appreciated.
And he says, oh, and have this, just from my personal collection. I was saving it for a special occasion. He says, it's a potion of climbing, just in case you find a use for it. I suspect that this won't be the first or the last job that you'll be doing for anyone, that's for sure. Speaking of which, I don't know if any of you would be interested in perhaps becoming a representative of us at the Zentarium, perhaps? You'd report to me, of course.
Well, I don't know about my friends here, but I kind of already report to someone. Don't think he'd be too keen.
Oh, that's a shame. Our loss is their gain, of course. And he kind of gives you a wink, Taileth.
She does the sort of like, ew smile. Like.
Me and Fellin will discuss it, and we'll get back to you if we decide to continue. Thank you.
Where can we find you?
He says, you can find me at the Laughing Goblin.
The Laughing Goblin, right.
On the docks.
On the docks.
Where will we find?
It's funny that you say so. We're called the Laughing Goblin because they was going to eat you.
Yeah, yeah, funny. And he says, I've also one of the things that I was gonna pass on to my superiors is some of those goblins deeper in the caves. I've seen some of them running around with rather unique looking shields.
Dragony shields?
Yeah. Dragon scales, essentially. So,
Made
if you
of
were
dragon scales.
thinking, well, a dragon scale turned into a shield, essentially. So, I would caution you against going back in there to deal with them without any sort of backup.
Right, that's good advice. Thank you, chap.
My pleasure.
Thank you for your information and this. Hope you find your armor again.
Thanks. And he
Have a lovely
kind of
day.
gives you a nod, and he says, and thanks again for rescuing all of us.
Yeah, not a problem. My nostrils have caught the scent of stew now, and I'm just sort of half
Yeah,
paying
it's getting
attention.
cold.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah,
You're
you're welcome to slowly sort of sidling away.
Yeah.
He says,
Skip breakfast awfully, so we'll just.
he just kind of gives you a nod and then just kind of turns around and walks in the direction of the city, which you can kind of just see from where you are. It's kind of the skyline. And he makes his way off towards the city, leaving you to enjoy the most emotionally charged stew you've probably ever eaten, as they all enjoy, as a reunited family, and indeed workers too, their nice stew, and a well-earned stew for you guys, as you enjoy the presence of a reunited family once again.
I
And
did
that-
fill my mushrooms.
Aww.
And some stew. I'm just sort of like giving him my scraps with the mushrooms.
Yeah, Phil, who you notice is snorting at a crow quite enthusiastically.
Aww.
The crow?
Yes.
He thinks he can talk to other animals.
As she sits down with a bowl of stew, Taileth will go, please tell me I'm not supposed to work with that twat. Very loudly, like she kind of forgets that.
Do you want to give me a perception check?
Yeah. Oh no. It's 4.
Get no response.
Looks very, very displeased.
And,
The stew is delicious.
excellent. And that, I think, then, is where we shall end this session of Defiance.
Just before we leave, I would like to just fix up her poor cart. It was looking an awful sorry thing, so I'll just get some wood and just fix it up a little bit because that thing was looking very sad.
Cute. Nice. Okay. Yeah, which you absolutely do. Are you doing it quietly or just?
No, I just don't do it. I'm not a subtle man.
Yeah. All right. Which she's enthusiastically expresses her gratitude for, as if she didn't have enough to thank you for already. But yes.
Could we get a ride back into town?
She says, "Oh, yes, that I can do. Yes, we'll do that." And you kind of finish up your stew, and then get on the back of her wagon, headed towards Phlan. Hey there, questers. I just wanted to take a moment to express our huge appreciation for all of our amazing Patreon and YouTube members. Your support means the world to us and helps keep this channel going strong. So I wanted to give a special shout out to each and every one of our incredible patrons and members, who are Simon Jelly, Martin C, Gallus, Gary Lloyd, James Hamilton, J.R. Bellaston, Robert Treadwell, Jason Udall, Chrissy Kirby, Jason Bradwell, Nigel Raggett, and Rebecca Hill. Your support truly makes a difference, and we appreciate you more than we can express. And as a token of appreciation, I just wanted to remind you of the awesome perks that you get as part of our community, from early access to some of our videos, going all the way up to ultra early access for some of our newer, bigger actual play shows, and exclusive behind the scenes content, as well as access to our Discord channel. Your support truly makes a huge amount of difference. And to those who haven't joined yet, I invite you to consider becoming a patron or YouTube member. Not only will you unlock these fantastic benefits, but you'll also be directly contributing to the growth and success of this channel. So thank you once again for your incredible support, not only to our patrons and YouTube members, but you, the viewers as well, who tune in every week to watch our shows. Together, we're helping to bring these fantastic adventures to life. So thank you.